So,
Yeah.
speaking of, another list that people have been talking about a lot is the return of the dreadnought. I don't actually have this one prepared, so I'm just going to kind of do it. Actually, I do kind of have one prepared. I just didn't have the time to type it up before the show. I'm a fan of the Scimitar dreadnought. I don't know if anyone else is. It has a few benefits. It has a couple different benefits and pros and cons in regards to the Voyager dreadnought. I don't know, which one would you rather have, David?
I think we've seen a lot of Voyager dreadnoughts, so I want to hear more about a Scimitar dreadnought.
All right, this is a very alpha set of a build in my mind because I was just doing this right before the show because I wanted to have one prepared for you guys. I'm bringing the Scimitar, and if I'm going to bring the Scimitar, I want to bring along its signature weapon, the Thaleron weapon. Thaleron is darn strong, especially against other defensive dreadnoughts like the Voyager. It doesn't matter if you're rolling 7 defense dice with bonuses. I get 10 attack dice. And that should be enough to at least pierce a few of your characters through the heart so that you're looking at less defense dice in the future when I continue to shoot at you. So that is one of the big things I like about that. Let's see, it has an interface generator on there. That doesn't quite fit under 50 points, but there are ways to get around that with something else. Because I originally had the tech reducing cost fleet captain on here. But bring in the Sakharov, bring in Weyoun, bring in Varel. And you know what? It's got a tech slot. It can take an interface generator. If I'm correct, it can take another one because I believe Space Dock does not correctly display the additional slot from the Sakharov's ability.
Correct.
Yep. And I gave Weyoun the independent fleet captain, but now that I think about it, it's not something he really needs because if he's going to be spending his turns disabled, he's not going to be able to use it after he moves. So that's so the resource is up in the air right now. So forget about that one for a moment. The general idea still remains though. After that, I've also got the USS Raven, which counts as a normal ship. And this is a trick that you have probably seen before from Tucker on the forums. I'm just using the Raven, Christopher Pike, self-destruct sequence because Pike has a slot. I could give him the fleet captain if I really wanted to, but Crewman William T. Riker. And if I even have to tell you which one this is, you haven't been paying attention.
Just for completion's sake, it's the one from the hood.
That's true. And of course, Escape Pod. So this list right now, I think, is under 120 because I didn't have a resource in it. But basically, you can land. A lot of people have, problems with the idea that you explode the Sakharov and just fill up a dreadnought with points and points of stuff and overlook all of its slots. In this one, the Sakharov actually lands on the Scimitar and stays alive. And this was an idea I also got from Tucker. The only thing that explodes is the USS Raven. And with the escape pod, Christopher Pike and William T. Riker make it onto the Scimitar just fine. So you are down, what was it? Something like 18 points or so because you lose the Raven and self-destruct sequence. So then all you have to do is kill one moderate-priced thing of your opponent's, and anything else is a bonus because your Scimitar is, again, tying up all of your remaining points. And having 101 points in a single ship, I don't even know, is the reason that dreadnoughts were kind of poo-pooed anyway. It wasn't necessarily that they were the strongest things in the world, both on offense and defense, but the fact that you had to kill them. You didn't have a choice. You only had one target, and that one target might or might not be in your arc. You didn't really have a lot of options to deal with them. And I think that was a frustrating part for players, which is kind of the purpose, whether they know it or not, of the 50-point rule. At least that's what I'm thinking. What are you thinking, David?
No, I'm with you there. I'm trying to put this build into space stock. How many points is Escape Transporter?
Escape
not,
pod.
sorry,
Escape pod is 1 point.
1 point. You're at 114.
Mm-hmm. So you can change that around. You can add an extra coup to the Raven, probably something like.
Well, and if I'm doing this correctly, Pike's on the Raven only because he's a talent holder.
A talent holder and helps with the thing because he's not actually going to be used as a captain.
Right. So you could conceivably use Captain Data from the Sakharov. He's a 2 cost, and that saves you a point overall.
You could use. You couldn't use the other way. You could use. I was also considering someone maybe like Archer, or one of the or Sopek, one of the ones that gets you an extra crewman slot.
Ah, yeah.
And if you get Sopek, I mean, then if for some reason No, there's no rules for having the second captain take over if the first captain dies, is there?
No.
That's unfortunate.
Anyways,
you can fit Huron on the Scimitar as an admiral for a little boost if you want.
Well, I was almost thinking get to 115 and run the counterattack die. I know that kind of sounds crazy, but if everything's shooting at your Scimitar, why not have a chance of rolling damage back at whatever's shooting you?
Oh yeah, especially if it's something like fighters, Hideki fighters, man, that one hit will take out a token.
Right, I mean, because Varel's going to cancel out 1 attack per turn. Mm-hmm. Why not use the counterattack on the second one? It's a thought.
Oh yeah, and especially because against the second one, you're rolling your 2 defense dice plus 4 for Cloak, plus 2 more for William T. Riker because Wayun's going to be disabled, and that's 8 defense dice with 2 battle stations, 2 evades. Yeah, it's pretty good. I think it's pretty cool deal.
There. Hey, look, we just found a use for counterattack day.
Haha. Good work, David. You're getting a promotion.
Hey.
You're a field commander of some sort. I don't know. But yeah, something like this. I mean, this is just to give some ideas. I like this one a lot because one of the things you have to remember, and I don't know if you've noticed this about all the lists that we've gone through already today, was that you have to have something that messes with your opponent. Because if you just let them do whatever they want, you've got problems. Because even though Wayun and Varel is not very economical in this meta right now, it can still exist and cause a lot of headache. And I think that's important to take into account. Because I mean, Sopek and conditional surrender can still be a thing, and that doesn't even cost a lot. These things can go on cheaper ships, and you can actually afford them normally instead of having to do shenanigans with shuttles and small ships. Yeah,
but we kind of like shenanigans sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the idea. This is my idea for the Scimitar Dreadnought. I am sure that it can definitely be a little bit more refined. Voyager Dreadnought is pretty straightforward. I mean, there's like 5 upgrades between tech and crew that just add defense die, add a defense die, add defense die, and that's really easy to make. I want to give you guys something different, a little different to chew on at least. Also because I hate the Voyager's maneuver dial.
Yeah, at least the Scimitar gives you a come about. And a 1 forward.
Oh, yeah. So I've been talking for a lot, I guess. Sorry, David, if I've been just going on and rambling.
Oh no, it's okay.
Did you say we were working on some lists before the show too?
I've got one thing just to kind of throw out there.
Okay.
I'll just go through.
Do I need my notepad?
What I got? Yeah, sure.
Let's do it.
Fighter Squadron 6, that's the named Fed fighters, with coordinated attack, because I like battle stations.
That is a nice one.
So just plain, simple 27-point fighters. Scout 255, so Borg Scout Cube, with Martok 8, Dominion Fleet Captain for the tech reducing. Sorry, the independent Dominion Fleet Captain. Diplomacy is the tech, or is the talent, for all the reasons we talked about in that build that you had. With a copy of Cloaked Minds and a copy of Improved Deflector Screens.
I was hoping we'd get one of these lists.
Yes, and so Improved Deflector Screens are the card that they cancel out a hit so long as you have active shields. So the Scout, as long as it has any of its 4 shields, it's getting 3 evade dice normally. It's canceling out 1. If you scan, you get an extra evade die. I'm just kind of thinking the Scout is hard to kill. Plus a copy of Meganometric Guided Charges. So, do you have to use Guided Charges all the time? No. This is kind of a balancing act. It's up to you to determine what you need more at any given time. It's a little bit of a utility build. Again, this is
a little
one
Swiss
of those,
Army knife and a little tiny cube.
Yeah, this is one of those more off-the-cuff builds, so there's some more refining that needs to go into it, but kind of seeing what's there. The other part of it is the ISS Defiant, so you're getting 4 attack dice, with Mirror O'Brien as the captain, and that's because I need a tech slot. That tech is Improved Deflector Screens, so we've got a theme here. Basically, how hard can I be to kill? The talent is Rebellion, and that's the one where, as an action, you target a ship, that ship has to target you. And if they do, if they have a greater hull value than you, they roll 2 less attack dice, and if they're in your forward firing arc and you survive, you get to shoot back at them. Just kind of fun shenanigans. I also threw Hood Riker and Tom Paris on that. So you kind of don't want to face that.
Like
I don't
the best
know
one
that
to
it's,
shoot is the Fighter Squadron, kind of.
Yeah, it's like I don't know what you want to kill first.
If you can even attack well in the first round, you know, if you get right in there, your diplomacy, their big hitter, and then you just unload maybe on their fighter squadrons. Yeah,
that was kind of the idea. Was, you know, the Scout doesn't need to shoot right away. I can shoot it whatever I feel like.
I'm not going to even try to pronounce this name in the chat, but welcome, A. We've just been talking mostly about builds and certain strategies for planet placement today. All about worlds, and this will definitely be up on the archives on YouTube as soon as I can, because this is going to be an important one, and up on the podcast site, which are links down below in the Twitch ideas, the Twitch columns of information. But yes, right now we are talking about the Improved Deflector Screens build that David has masterminded.
Yeah, it's one of my things. You know, we kind of got accused of not finding uses for the Defiant, and I've kind of been saying I don't know that I can make the USS Defiant work, but, well, darn, I'm going to try to make the ISS Defiant work.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
this
don't know.
starts to get there.
USS might not be too bad now that it can take the Type 8 phasers.
Right, and that's what I was getting at. It's the Type 8
Mm-hmm.
phasers, the systems upgrade, stuff like that. It's making it more playable. I haven't had a chance to mess around with that yet. So, but I think the ISS Defiant just built in, because it has its ability as a ship to take an aux power to cancel a hit, and that's an each time you defend. I'm okay with that. I don't need actions, actually, to make this work. Riker works, Paris works without actions.
You got Martok, but he's more of just icing on the cake, really.
He's more of just icing on the cake, and at the end of the day, this Martok's probably something that can go away and be somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the build's 120, so I couldn't put Picard 9 in, but I might put Picard 8 in and hate on somebody.
Picard 6 would not be a good choice here.
Picard
On a ship with two
choice. Well, and it kind of negates improved deflector screens.
Mm-hmm.
It would actually immediately discard improved deflector screen.
Oh, you actually have to discard it, don't you? No. It disables shields. So disabled shields lets you keep it, doesn't it? I think so.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's if they're all destroyed, they go away.
God, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but Picard 8 might be a choice. There's some other
Picard 8's a lot of
captains.
fun with magnetometric charges, let me tell you.
Yeah, because, hey, I'm going to roll 2 dice, guarantee myself a crit, and if I roll battle stations, now I've got another crit, and by the way, you get no defense dice. Oh, your shields are down, take 2 crits.
Crits are fun.
I kind of like that idea. So yeah, I might take Picard. I might take Martok off and put Picard 8 in there. Just a thought.
Mm-hmm. And that can even boost that up to 5 defense dice.
It could, and that might be worth it. You know, I think another reason this works well is that it's Fed, Borg, Mirror, and so a Picard 8 if anybody's running Picard 8. I think everybody's running Picard 9 or Picard 6. I don't think you're going to see a lot of Picard 8.
Yeah, Picard 8 is really cool, but yeah, Picard 9 is definitely an easier one to wrap your head around. Unfortunately, it's also an easier one to block.
Yes.
Not sure if that's going to happen a lot in this tournament, but it would be cool if it did.
Yeah, I originally had Picard 8 on the Defiant for the extra tech slot, because that's the thing. The Defiant doesn't have a built-in tech slot, so you have to find a way to get there.
I gotcha.
And I figured Smile was nice, because if I do start taking some hits and I don't have aux power, then I can use Smiley to repair, because he works on shields.
Shields. Yeah.
So it's kind of a balance.
Yeah. Improved deflector screens. Oops. Welcome back, guys. So yeah, just basically, improved deflector screens is a really nice card. Limited, of course, by the size it can be on, but it's really fun. And I've been wanting to try to figure out a build that utilizes it really well. It's just hasn't been in my... I haven't had time to do it right now.
Yeah. Well,
but I'm glad somebody did.
Since I'm not going to Worlds, I wouldn't mind if anybody took that out for a spin in qualifiers and saw how it did.
Indeed. I don't want 0 kilobytes a second. I want to be connected. Why aren't you trying to reconnect me? That might be the end of the show because of reasons. Two, one. Come on, reconnect me. All right.
Because of
We're back
reasons.
one more time. But yes, thank you guys for sticking with us. We've been having a few technical difficulties through the beginning and the end of the show, but it has been very helpful to know how things are going with the setup. And yeah, I don't know, anything else we particularly want to talk about today? I mean, we could go on about lists for probably days. I think we've covered some of the big ones that I think are going to be really strong contenders for Worlds. What do you think, David?
Yeah, I think that Klingons are going to show up because
Somebody
always running
brings
Klingons.
Klingons.
I think bioships are going to show up somewhere.
That would be cool.
And we've kind of talked about that.
There is one question that I need answered about those that I'm pretty sure I left in the fighter thread that hasn't been looked at in 2 weeks. And that is, can you quantum singularity directly behind a fighter? Because you have to be range 3 from ships. Now, they're ruling on, if they rule it similar to cloaked mines, which would almost make sense, it wouldn't work. But it uses like the same wording that the Prakesh uses, which in their announcement, the Prakesh, they specifically said does not work. Because Prakesh is if you're within range of a ship, and quantum singularity is if you must not be in range of a ship. And things like that. But I'd feel better about bioships if there weren't so many fighters running around. I think fighters are undercosted for the firepower they bring to the table, and I think people are going to figure that out in 3 to 6 months, and then they will get nerfed again. Yeah. But,
yeah.
So Worlds is less than 2 weeks away now, June 3rd through 7th. Anyone that I can see there, I hope to see you there. We can have a wonderful game. And if possible, I would love to get you guys on camera so we could have some replays to show the world. I will try to contact someone at the tournament scene to see what kind of recording we'd actually be allowed to do. And that would be cool. Besides that, though, I am leaving Wednesday, so I guess we'll try to do a show on Tuesday night. Seems good, and it'd be Tucker a chance to get his 2 cents in, because unfortunately he was busy tonight. And don't know if it'll be a full show, but it might be more stuff about Worlds that, last minute introductions and things. And then after that, the next Tuesday, we'll of course have Worlds wrap up, and probably then back to business, previews, events, and all other kinds of cool things. But hopefully, when we get back, when I get back in 2 weeks' time, which will be after Worlds, I will have wonderful, lovely stories to share with you guys, as well as Tucker, and David will live vicariously through us.
Yep.
Can't believe you're not going to be there, David. We have a team fight going. We need 3-on-3. We don't actually have a team fight going.
Really?
That would be a cool thing.
I'm like, who actually had a team of 3 that challenged?
Well, I was just going to kind of put it out there and see if anyone joined. But it would have been fun. Yeah. I had some dabblings in it, like trying to get an event going down here, but I just didn't have enough. I didn't have enough players left. Sad. But yeah, Anything else interesting going on this week? Anything I missed? I mean, Terry finally put up another video of QOP2. And we get cloaked mines for Klingons, which is not yet legal for Worlds because it's not in the time frame. There's the legality list, and it said no QOP2, so that's basically it.
Yeah, they're not as good because they can't be within range 3 of any ship.
Mm-hmm. But they cost cheaper on Klingon ships. Costing cheaper on Klingon ships works. I could see a Klingon fleet now without fighters and just a bunch of small Klingon ships with their tech slots filled with cloaked mines.
Yeah. Klingons still need their own kind of interface generator, though.
Mm-hmm. That'd be cool.
I think if they get that, they're back. But yeah. No, I like it. Cloaked mine should still be a weapon, not a tech, but
yeah, there's enough things that don't take up a weapon slot. But, well, now that we finally get good continuous effect weapons like the Type A phaser array and things like that, maybe we'll get more of those, and weapons will be a thing again. Well, non-weapon really weapons will be a thing. That'd be cool. But yeah. I think that's going to do it for us this week. Unless anybody in the chat has any questions or any suggestions, always glad to hear from you guys. Yeah, next week maybe a little bit more Worlds before I head out. We will try to keep you updated throughout the weekend as much as possible. This setup we've been testing is actually the computer and cameras that I'm going to be taking with me up there to Origins. So if this worked tonight, we should be able to get something up for you guys while we're up there. Chat. All right. I guess it's going to do it for us today. Anything for you last this week, David? Anything cool to close us out with?
No, I'll mind if I plug the shipyard again.
Oh, definitely, go for it.
So I've started up a YouTube channel called The Shipyard. I'm going through every ship in the game, card by card, trying to find some use for it. Some of them are tournament uses, some of them are just fun, casual uses, but nevertheless, I'm looking for some way to make everything playable. Videos are 5 to 10 minutes in length. I just put up my DS9 crew pack and Terracnor and all of that. That one went 14 minutes because I got really excited talking about a few things.
What? Getting excited talking about Star Trek?
Now. Yeah, I know. And I try to edit and I try to cut out a lot of my pauses and ramblings and stuff like that, but sometimes you just gotta leave stuff in. I think I spent like 2 minutes talking about Ben Sisko and why he worked and why he didn't work and how to try to make him work. And sometimes
the captain, not the actual show character.
No, not the actual show character. I'm trying to stay away from interacting with the show too much, aside from saying stuff like, "Hey, it's Odo, everybody's favorite changeling." Little things like that, and then moving on to the actual game. So, I mean, I'm a Star Trek fan. I do know a lot of the basis for where these things are coming from, but you're probably watching the video for my opinion on the cards and how it relates to the game, not my knowledge of Star Trek. If you want that, go watch Terry, because she's wonderful about that stuff.
And she has like a not Twitch, but like a YouTube hangout thing like every week. It's cool.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. All right.
Alrighty.
Guys. That's going to do it for us this week. Tune in next week, and we will have more excellent stuff for you, I am certain, here on State of the Federation. Till then, Get your practice in, test your lists out. Worlds is rapidly approaching. Because when you get there, Q's going to be generous with my dice. Have a good one, guys.
State of the Federation is a production of Will S. in association with Tucker C. and David M. We are not associated or affiliated with WizKids games, and except where specified, WizKids did not endorse or approve any of our podcasts. All copyrights are copyright of their respective rights holders.